Chapter 14. The morning sun, bold and bright, came shining through the jungle. Little mist plumes rose from the forest all around. In the big field between the tree and the waterfall, kids were already playing soccer. The tree was humming again with gentle interaction, nothing like Maya had heard before. Nothing like the noise her high school hallways churned out constantly, horrible chatter. And certainly nothing like a city street with its aggressive, ever-pushing, ever-racing rhythm. She stood at the railing of the tiny deck the house had. Adam was still asleep in the house. Ubuntu brought a tray of tea and fruit and bread for breakfast. Maya took the tea and began to peel a banana. "It's so beautiful here," she said to Ubuntu. "We are very fortunate," Ubuntu replied, sipping her tea. "How does it exist like this?" asked Maya. "Like what?" Ubuntu replied. "So isolated. Doesn't anyone see the light at night? Hear the laughter all day?" Maya asked. "The jungle is very large. We are deep in a place where humans have no true map, for they have not been here on their own 2 feet." "What about planes and satellites?" Maya asked. "We simply do not exist in each other's worlds, one could say," Ubuntu answered. "It can be harder to find than you think. The path is narrow." "One more question. How do you find food for everyone?" Maya asked. "Food is no problem," Ubuntu laughed. "We have crops nearby, and we have what is provided by the jungle." "Okay, one more question about the jungle. Isn't it dangerous? Has no one ever been attacked or killed?" Maya asked. "The animals know us here. They know us by our rhythm. No one has ever been harmed, and we, in turn, had not harmed them," Ubuntu answered. "Good question." Adam came out, stretching and smiling. "Even sleep is better here," he said. "It helps when you don't have to sleep in fear," Ubuntu said. "That it does," said Adam. "Have some tea and some fruit. Take your time. Then come with me. I want to show you something," she said as she left the deck. Adam ate an orange and looked out over the soccer game touched by the mist of the waterfall. "It's even better in the daytime," he said. "Brilliant," he said. Maya smiled. She sat on the deck and thought about the things Ubuntu had said. The tea and fruit were taken in the house, and soon Ubuntu returned to the deck. "Come, I have to show you something," she said. They followed Ubuntu over arching bridges, across suspended bridges, through branches, up staircases that meandered through leaves and tree limbs toward the top of the central, largest tree. A final staircase rose up over thick splitting limbs and down into an opening in the tree. Ubuntu paused. "Are you ready?" she asked with a grin. Maya and Adam stood still. "Let us begin," said Ubuntu. Up and over the stairs she went. Maya followed. Adam followed. The stairs led down into the trunk of a tree in a spiral around the inner circumference. "Good and evil take many forms," Ubuntu said, "but they are really one thing, out of harmony, out of tune, you know?" Ubuntu continued down the stairs as she spoke. The disharmony being the purity of evil itself. The retaliation carried through the ages twists, turns, and contorts, turning against us, each other, when we are the same. It leads to death, murder, enemies, and propagates from there into many evil things. They reached the ground within the large room that was the hollow tree. Adam and Maya stared at the daylight opening high above their heads from where they came. The scale was disorienting. The light shone down into the floor in an illuminated circle. Ubuntu continued. But first, there was the illusion of the end of one thing. When one thing ends, infinite divisions must take place at an instant. I say illusion because really never did that one thing come to an end. Only did occur an inversion of our infinite power of manifestation, turning ourselves, however, into still a state that will not last. Our current disharmony rests within this infinite balance as we speak. Ubuntu explained. She sat on the floor around the circle of the light, and then motioned for Adam and Maya to take their place. We sit in the darkness, Ubuntu said, as she pointed to the shadow they were sitting in. We look in on the great light. Do you see it? A porthole into paradise, a light at the end of the tunnel. Maya looked down into the circle of light, surrounded by a ring of darkness. I do, Maya said. Look deeper, Ubuntu guided. Maya and Adam glanced at each other and then looked again into the illuminated circle. Suddenly, Maya had the sensation that she was crawling, burrowing through a claustrophobic tunnel. Look deeper, said Ubuntu. Maya heard Ubuntu's liquid voice all around. She wriggled deeper and deeper into the disembodied tunnel toward the great light. A sound approached, like breeze. She reached the threshold of the light. An indescribable quality of energy passed through her body as she crossed over into the light. It was bright white sand, misty where she could see the air. There, right beside the tunnel outlet, was her mother. Sitting in the sand in light blue jeans, a white, light, baggy sweater, arms around her knees, bare feet. It was soundless. Her mother looked at Maya. The smile, the expression she wore was everything. Maya would cry if she existed. She only perceived herself shining light the size of the universe, warm. As it came to be, it began to fade away. She was being moved, returned through the tunnel, back down through to the room where Adam and Ubuntu sat. Adam, staring, breathing. They looked over at each other, teary-eyed. This is harmony, said Ubuntu. Whatever you saw was the symbol of the Great Spirit through her circle of light to convey to you the meaning of harmony, paradise, where words fall far short. This is how she speaks. Ubuntu stood up and brushed the dust off her clothes. Adam and Maya did the same. We, as riders, are instruments of the Great Spirit. As she breathes in, we live in harmony, and as she breathes out, we restore the earth to simple beauty. Our mission is to cure the infection of darkness that has seeped into our world. This is harder than it sounds, said Ubuntu. It sounds pretty hard, said Adam. Ubuntu squatted down and started drawing in the dust. Long ago, Zedafungo, myself, Ubuntu explained as she drew 2 oval boards beside each other, and 2 others, Chico and Dharma, contained the darkness, kept it from entering the world. We were the 4 boardsmen of old. She drew 2 more boards. She put a big oval around the boards. Where are Jiko and Dharma? Where are they now? Maya asked Ubuntu. The darkness abstracted, said Ubuntu. It changed form, it evolved. It tore us in all directions. We are still pursuing its branches, attempting to extricate it once and for all. She looked up at Adam and Maya. No human has ever been able to operate a board. Your appearance indicates a time like no other. You always wanted to be special, Maya, Adam said, looking at his sister. Yeah, but not in a death-defying, world-saving way, she said. Maybe you should have made that clearer when you were blowing out your candles, Adam said. Ubuntu smiled, put a hand on each of their shoulders. You will be all right. The path you have been given is not an easy one, but it is yours because you have it in you to do what is needed to be done. I will be your guide. Together we shall not fail, said Ubuntu, encouraging them. There's no turning back now, Maya shrugged. Come, Ubuntu said as she began toward the stairs. Together they ascended. They emerged out of the hollow tree into the light of late morning.